It's everybody's favorite red plumber, but now in an entirely new aesthetic and dimension. Paper Mario! He's the Mario that we all know and love, but now in a storybook format, and in a much different cut that we don't normally see with the Mario that most people are familiar with. So before anything, do let me get one thing off my chest. There is going to be some major bias with this moveset, mostly due to the fact that the game Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, the second game of the Paper Mario lineup, is my favorite game. Hands down, this is it. The game that I will always prefer above all others. I love it to death, and I always revisit it at least once a year. To me, it's the best game that I've ever played. So my apologies if I get it all passionate during this moveset. So with that said, let's jump right into this. Paper Mario lives in the world of the Mushroom Kingdom just like the Mario we know, but this world takes place in a storybook. One where everything looks like it could have been made at an arts and crafts table. But that's really the only major difference. It's the same kind of world, just drawn differently. And Paper Mario himself would be kind of an odd character for Smash. I'd argue that he'd still be a very much balanced character, just like his normal 3D counterpart, but in a very much more irregular way. For one thing, he'd be flat, just like Mr. Game & Watch. I mean, he wouldn't be Paper Mario if he was made into a 3D model, now would he? He would also be a very lightweight character, because again, paper. And last I checked, paper is light. He would only have 2 jumps with no additional movement options. But before I move on, I would like to go over a little gimmick that Paper Mario could have. It's not a mechanical gimmick, only a visual one, so that's why I'm getting it out of the way now and not dedicating its own section to it like I usually do. As any fan of the Paper Mario games would know, Mario never goes on his journeys alone. He always travels with companions who help him along his way. Many have been nothing but an asset to him, and some have been... Anyways, so for this moveset, I would like to implement the same thing. He'll always have a partner following him. Which partner he has will be dependent on what attacks he uses, and the partner will change when he uses certain attacks that utilize that partner. And that partner will continue to follow Paper Mario around until he uses an attack that requires a different partner. What those attacks are, and for that matter what partners he'll have, I'll go over later, but just keep this in mind. For Paper Mario's jab, this will be one that's near identical to normal Mario's jab, the classic one. A 3-hit jab that starts off with a 1-2 hit punch and ends with a kick. And this will be the only move that Paper Mario will have that will be just like 3D Mario's. They are both still Mario after all, so I felt it appropriate that they at least have one similarity. His dash attack could have him do the spin dash. He'd crumble up into a ball, turn blue, and... Why did I do this dumb joke twice? No, I'm talking about the spin dash move that Paper Mario has in the first Paper Mario game, which by itself wasn't an attack, but more so a means to getting around a little faster. But you could equip badges to Mario to allow it to be a little more useful. It would have Mario slide forwards while spinning, capable of dealing multiple flinching hits of damage before launching foes with the final hit. Paper Mario's side tilt would be the ever-iconic Hammer Whack, having Mario swing his hammer overhead from back to front, slamming into the ground for a decent amount of damage. This attack would be pretty spammable, much like it is in the overworld of the Paper Mario games. The up tilt would have Mario do a quick short jump punch straight up, hitting foes above him like he would a coin block. The down tilt would have Mario quickly roll up like he does in Paper Mario 2 and roll across the ground for a fair distance. It would travel decently far and would launch any foe who gets in Mario's way. It mechanically works like other sliding down tilts, but its range and coverage would be pretty lackluster since Mario is so small when rolled up like that. But it would still make for a pretty good approaching option for when you want to avoid higher attacks or projectiles. For the side smash, Paper Mario would utilize one of his best badges, the Quake Badge. He would do a quick hop while swinging his hammer overhead from back to front, slamming the ground. And when he does, he causes a shockwave. The shockwave counts as a sour spot, and while dealing a decent amount of damage, wouldn't really knock foes away very far. So the strongest launching point of this attack would of course come from the hammer. The up smash I needed to innovate, and it could simply have him swing his hammer overhead from front to back. And for the down smash, it could make reference to the super hammer in Paper Mario 2. He would spin in multiple circles while holding his hammer out, hitting quickly on both sides of himself. Also, to make for a neat little visual flair, while Paper Mario charges up his smash attacks, the action command window would pop up, and would even show the little colored lights blink one at a time as he charges, with all of the lights being lit when this smash is fully charged. Normally in the Paper Mario games, if you let the hammer charge for too long past when the final light blinks on, it would actually weaken the attack. But that won't happen here, folks, don't worry, it's only for cosmetics. For the neutral air, Paper Mario would do a single 360-degree spin holding his limbs out, which was one of his stylish moves that he can do after jumping off of enemies in Super Paper Mario. His forward air could have him swing his hammer overhead from high to low, capable of spiking. This would be in homage to normal Mario's forward aerial, just more Paper Mario-y. His back air would have him lunge his head backwards for a backwards headbutt, mimicking one of his stylish moves in Paper Mario 2 when he uses the power bounce. An attack that would come out quick and would have some devastating launch power. His up air could have him thrust his feet upwards for a quick double kick, mimicking his stylish move while doing his normal jump attack. This would be another move that comes out pretty quick, but would have only decent damage and knockback. And for his down air, he would do the spin jump, which Paper Mario has been able to do since the first Paper Mario game after obtaining the Super Boots. The spin jump is just another name for the ground pound, and for Smash, it would have Mario stall for a second in the air to ready himself with a front flip, and then will fly straight down to deal big damage to any unlucky foe to be under his paper rump. Which actually sounds like it shouldn't hurt all that much. In fact, I feel like a lot of these attacks really shouldn't hurt all that much in the 3D world. I guess he could just give his opponents a lot of paper cuts? You know, I bet if he aimed for that little fleshy area in between your fingers, he could do some real damage. I don't know, whatever. For Paper Mario's grab, he could utilize the first of his many pixel partners that he met in Super Paper Mario, Throw. Spelled Thoreau, just to be fancy, I guess. It could be a long-range disjointed grab that can come out kinda quick, but would have a bit of end lag as Throw returns to Mario if he misses. If Throw is able to grab someone, they'll pull them back to Mario, who will hold on to them by carrying the foe over his head. For the pummel, here's where I finally talk more about the partners following Mario. Regardless of who's out, the current partner following Mario will be the one to attack the foe for the pummel. Nothing would be different or anything between all of the partners, it's just cosmetic. And it would be interesting to see all the different partners attack the foe while Paper Mario holds on to them. The forward throw will have Paper Mario simply throw the foe forwards, just like he does when he throws enemies in Super Paper Mario after Throw grabs them. The back throw will have Mario toss the foe towards the partner following him, and that partner will volleyball the foe with a hard hit, sending them backwards. The up throw will have Mario toss the foe slightly into the air, but then do 3 quick jump punches into them, with the third punch sending them higher into the air. And just to make it appropriate, each time Mario jump punches the foe during the up throw, a coin would pop out, just like what happens when he jump punches a coin block. It wouldn't be very Mario if that didn't happen. And the down throw would have Paper Mario put the foe underneath himself and then do 2 quick stylish jumps onto them, just like he does for his basic jump attack in the Paper Mario games. This would deal a decent amount of damage to the foe before knocking them away with a bounce during the second stomp. Alrighty, no more beating around the bush. For the special attacks, these will be what properly incorporate the partners. And it doesn't have to only be certain partners. All of them are so good, why not let us have as many as possible? Let's say that on the main character selection menu, you could choose between one of 2 sets of partners to bring with you. A set from Paper Mario 64, or a set from Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. And you could pick between them by clicking on the partners in the same way you would cycle between the Pokemon Trainer's Pokemon to start with. And as a third option, you could choose for the partners to not follow Mario at all, and will only appear for the attacks. I mean, I guess I don't know why you'd want to do that. Seriously, why would you be boring enough to pick that option? Oh, you liked Sticker Star, didn't you? Anyways, for Paper Mario's neutral special, he would use the Shell Toss, which would utilize the help of Kooper if you chose the 64 set, or Koops if you chose the Thousand Year Door set. The Shell Toss is a partner move where Mario kicks his Koopa partner forwards as a long-range grounded projectile, which then boomerangs back to the spot where Mario kicked the shell. It could be used as an attack, or as a means of gathering items and hitting switches out of Mario's reach. For Smash, this would be a very simple move with a lot to it. Tapping the special button will have Mario kick his Koopa friend straight horizontally forwards a fair distance, and it will boomerang back to the spot where Mario first kicked it. It will always go horizontally on a set path, even if used in the air, and any opponent who is in its path, regardless of what direction it's going, will be launched a fair distance and be dealt a decent amount of damage. Now, if you choose to hold down the special button, once the shell reaches its max distance, it will stay in that place and spin continuously. Once the button is let go, it will then resume its boomeranging path as normal. Paper Mario will be able to move around and jump while the button is held down to keep the shell out, but he won't be able to use any of his attacks, shields, or dodges until that button is let go. This mechanic was introduced as a function in Thousand Year Door with Koops, so we've never seen Kooper do it, but just assume that Koops taught him how to do it on their way to Smash. It would be a weak attack, yes, but it would also be a move with excellent versatility for pressuring and mix-ups. Also, just to add even more functionality to this special, if there happens to be an item in the pathway of the shell, it'll pick that item up and bring it back to the spot where Mario kicked it, just like the move does in the Paper Mario games. If Mario is still there when the shell makes it back, then he'll automatically take the item, but if he's not there, then the item will just be dropped in that spot. For the side special, Paper Mario would call in some explosive help. If he's using the 64 set, he'd bring out the ever-sassy Bombette. And if the Thousand Year Door set is used, he'd be assisted by the salty old C-Bomb Admiral Bobbery. Upon using the side special, Mario will take his Bob-omb friend and automatically toss them forwards at a slight angle. Once the Bob-omb hits the ground, they'll begin slowly walking forwards, and after 3 seconds, will explode, dealing very large damage to any poor sap too close to them. As they walk, they will stop at edges. They cannot walk off the stage or platform that they landed on. Now, you can make them explode sooner by pressing side special again while they're on the ground, but there is still about a second of a delay. They can only explode when they're on the ground, though. If they're still in the air, tossed off the stage, or for some reason the ground underneath them disappears, then they will not explode, and will either just go back to Mario, or will explode once they do hit the ground. So you can't just throw them off the stage and expect them to explode for edgeguarding purposes, but that doesn't mean you can't edgeguard with them, as the Bob-ombs will act as weak projectiles after being tossed before hitting the ground. And as a final side note for the side special, Mario is able to move around and attack normally after throwing his Bob-omb companion. Now for the up special, I decided to not include a partner for this one, mostly because there really aren't any partners that helps Mario gain vertical height. There are partners that can fly, yes, but usually they're just there to help pass over gaps. Plus, there are no 2 sets of partners between Paper Mario's 1 and 2 that I can interchange with a set change aesthetic, especially since none of the partners in Paper Mario 2 could fly. I mean, aside from Flurry, but that's not what she was there for in the game. Nah, instead for the up special, Mario could use his Ultra Boots and perform the Spring Jump from Paper Mario 2, an ability where Mario folds his body down, then literally springs straight up, high into the air. This allowed Mario to reach things that he obviously couldn't reach with his normal jump, like blocks, switches, or even poles to hang off of. So for Smash, this will be a charge up special, where the longer you hold down the up special command, the higher Paper Mario will leap into the air upon releasing the button. Just tapping up special won't send him very high at all, as he does need the time to fold up his body for the spring. It takes a maximum of 2 seconds to fully charge up the spring jump, and the full charge will send him ridiculously high. I'd put it about on par with Joker's up special with Arsene. Now, as this move is still a jump punch, it will hurt foes who are above Mario as he springs, but it isn't very strong, only dealing a small amount of damage and knockback to foes. But that's not all there is to this move. For one thing, this move will not put Mario into freefall, but he will still be fairly limited until he touches the stage. He'll still be able to air dodge, but his basic attacks will be disabled. However, if you press the special button after performing the spring jump, Mario will use the Tornado Jump, having him fly straight down while spinning for a strong multi-hitting ground pound. The Tornado Jump was actually the ability given to Mario when he acquired the Ultra Boots in Paper Mario 64, so I am combining the 2 Ultra Boots abilities between the games. The only other thing about this attack is that it does have a bit of a drawback, but not one you should really need to worry about too much. If Mario sprint jumps into a ceiling, he'll crash into it and will comedically float down before being forced into freefall. And finally, for the down special, Paper Mario will get some help from the Beyond, as he utilizes the help from the refined and elegant Bow if he uses the 64 set, and the Shadow Siren Vivian for the Thousand Year Door set. These 2 ladies had the ability to hide Mario with their powers, keeping him safe from enemies and attacks, with Bow turning Mario invisible with her Boo powers, and Vivian pulling Mario into the shadows. For Smash, this could be a special that protects Mario from all attacks for a limited amount of time, but only when on the ground. This move cannot be used in the air. The partner will hide Mario from sight, turning Mario near transparent when Bow is used, and leaving a shadow on the ground when Vivian is used. So all players will still see where Mario is, but the real point for this special is that Mario will be invincible, for at most 4 seconds at a time. There will be a little meter that appears above where Mario is that drains while they're hidden, and will slowly recharge when they're not hidden. While hidden, Mario cannot be affected by anything. and it has very little end lag when ended manually, so this move would be a great defensive tool, one that can be used in place of the sidestep or shield if need be. That said, if you let the meter drain to nothing, Mario will automatically go back to normal, and it will have an uncomfortable amount of end lag, leading to easy punishments. Also, if you let this happen, the bar will recharge much slower than before, and you won't be able to use the down special at all until the bar is full, which would take about 25 seconds. So you do need to have good management to make sure that this doesn't happen. That said, there is one more function to this special. You can choose to empty the meter completely to perform a quick horizontal teleport. This could be a good tool to use if you feel pressured and need to get away to breathe, but Mario will go back to normal as soon as the teleport ends. It does have some end lag as well, but not as much as letting the bar empty by itself, so you could use it if you're scared that your bar is about to empty but don't want to re-emerge in your current spot. But be careful, as generally any competent Smash player would have no issue reading this kind of move, and will start punishing you if you become predictable with it. For the final Smash, oh boy, where do I begin? Paper Mario has actually done a lot of things over the years that could be classified as a final Smash. So you know what? This time around, I'll give you guys a few examples as to what this could possibly be. One idea could be the Peach Beam from Paper Mario 64, where Mario is aided by the powerful Star Spirit, which is then further powered by the wishes of Princess Peach. It would create a large vertical beam of light that can deal large damage and knockback to foes who are too close to Mario or along his Y-axis. The next idea can be an amped up version of the Showstopper special from Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. The crystal stars would begin literally tearing their way through the screen and deal large damage and knockback to any foe unfortunate enough to be in front of the stars. The next could be a cinematic final smash where Paper Mario uses the power of the Mega Star from Super Paper Mario. Any foe caught in the smash would run for their lives after Mario gets the Mega Star and grows into a giant 8-bit Mario. The foes would attempt to run away as giant Mario chases them, barreling past a ton of other stuff from the Paper Mario games before eventually getting trampled by Mario and being dealt a ton of damage and knockback. And for the final idea that I have, honestly, this one is my personal favorite idea. Surprising, considering that it comes from my least favorite Mario game. A gargantuan fan would appear behind the stage, and as it does, Mario would fold up into a paper plane and get out of there. After that, the fan would blow a powerful gust of wind. By itself, it doesn't deal any damage, but the stage would get very windy, as if a ton of wild gust bellows suddenly appeared on the stage. This of course leads to a high chance of being blown off the stage if you're not careful. But that said, if you happen to have already been above at least 75% of damage when Paper Mario activates this final smash, the fan will blow you towards the front screen, leading to an automatic KO. And once the smash ends, Mario would glide back to the spot where he was prior. For colors, Paper Mario's default would of course have him in his iconic red and blue, just as he should be. The first three alts could all make reference to the alternate colors that Mario could have in Paper Mario 2 when he had the proper badges equipped. The first would give him Luigi's colors, which is what he would rock whenever he equipped the L emblem. What an unfortunate name out of context. The second can give him Wario's colors, of which he more than likely reluctantly dons when he wears the W emblem. Still, not as unfortunate out of context. The third would have him in Waluigi's colors, which he'll have if he wears both the L and W emblems. What do you call it when you have both an L and a W? Anyways, for the fourth alt, it could give him the colors of Princess Peach. We've never seen Mario do this, so this is an innovated color from me. The next can give him Fire Mario colors, which we see Paper Mario have in Sticker Star and Color Splash. Same story for the next alt, which would give him the colors of Ice Mario. And the final alt could give Mario the colors of 8-bit Mario, in reference to how the Paper Mario games generally always have a little 8-bit Mario Easter egg hidden or shown in some way. I should also mention that the partners will not change colors, they'll remain the same regardless of the alt. For the stage intro, it could make reference to the crossover game Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, where it starts with the Paper Mario book lying on the ground before it flies open, and Paper Mario jumps out accompanied by all kinds of fanfare and party favors that reference the Paper Mario aesthetic. For taunts, the first could have Paper Mario waving towards the crowd, just like he does when he appeals in the second game. The second can have him put his hand on his chin to ponder for a bit, in reference to what he does when the player is selecting what action Mario could do next, as if he's thinking about it. And for the final taunt, his Goomba companion can pop out with a stylish pose. But that's not all. When you do this, the Goomba will stay out and follow Mario around. Of course, if you're using the 64 set, Goombario will come out. And if you're using the 1000-Year Door set, it will be the way superior Goombella. Sorry, that's my bias showing again. But if I'm honest, if this was how the moveset worked for real, I would always use the 1000-Year Door set. Hands down. But you know what? Before I move on, I'll bring up an idea that I know a lot of people wish I talked about more, and that's unique dialogue. I usually don't bring this up because I like to see what ideas you guys think of for this. But again, my bias is showing, so I'll quickly bring it up now. But I think it'd be hilarious that if on a Paper Mario-centric stage, Goombario or Goombella can tattle the foes, much akin to the Snake Codec or Palutena's Guidance. The dialogue would change between the two Goombas, of course, since they do have different personalities, so that would be a lot of writing. Every existing fighter, times 2. But regardless, I think it'd be cool. Anyways, ending this all off with the victory animations, the first would have Mario adjusting his hat, but then give the camera a thumbs up, which is a reversed order of his usual victory animation in the Paper Mario games, but that just flows better for Smash. The next would have Mario jump in and wag his finger, just like he does sometimes after winning fights in Paper Mario 64. And the final would have Mario just standing there with a star spinning around him, with the star ending over his head as he lifts his arms up in victory with a paper fanfare effect appearing behind him, just like what happens whenever you collect the plot MacGuffin in each game. And what kind of star that appears would vary depending on your set. If you're using the 64 set, it would be a Star Spirit, and for the 1000-Year Door set, it could be a Crystal Star. And to make for a much more rare occurrence, if the last move you used was the grab, which if you recall uses throw, the pixel, it could be a pure heart that appears instead. And speaking of partners, whichever partner that was last with Mario will appear with him on the victory screen, doing their own single victory animation that we see them do in their respective games. And that does it for What If Paper Mario Was in Smash! Again, apologies if my bias showed a little more often than normal in this video. I just love the Paper Mario games so much. Most of them. Never played Color Splash, so I have no opinion on that one. But anyways, these games made such a huge impact on my life, especially 1000-Year Door. There's just so much charm and care put into them that I wanted to make sure that a character representing those games was given nothing less but the same treatment. So, with all of that said, if you enjoyed what you saw and would like to see even more characters be given possible Smash movesets, be sure to subscribe. And if you have a character that you would like to see be given a possible Smash moveset, leave a comment down below, or contact me on Twitter at BrelFan1 on Twit. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!